What's up, guys? Happy Friday. It is F-Boy Friday, your favorite day, and we are tuned in to the market close today. We're doing some stuff outside our realm because crypto's being boring. We're taking deeper looks at stocks. We're gonna be looking at macro market. We're gonna be looking at your favorites: Tesla, Apple, Meta, whatever comes to mind. It is Friday, so I hope you all enjoy the weekend to come. Let's jump in to the charts, but I guess first not. We're gonna jump into the macros. There we go. I think that music might be a little loud. There we go. Blame YouTube for not letting us use anything but not copyrighted sounds. All right, this week is wrapping up here. It's been a crazy week for stocks. We've seen some really interesting breakouts. Bitcoin, finally a little volatility, but really price settling where it is. So looking at the macros, we've got relatively flat now for stocks, even though they opened pretty up. They're about where they opened this morning. Actually surprising. We can even see that on the little chart here. In the week to come, we have some big numbers. On Tuesday, core CPI, regular CPI. Wednesday, PPI. There's a joke there. The FOMC meeting on the 14th, Mr. Pow, I can't even do it right now, is going to be joining us live with an FOMC statement. Will he increase interest rates, or will we finally see the pivot begin? Stay tuned. Tune in on the 14th for that. You better believe your bottom dollar will be live. On Thursday, core retail sales, initial jobless claims. You know what's weird is the initial jobless claims always seem to come out the day after the FOMC. Seems like that should be in reverse, considering that's one of the major factors they look at. What do I know? We'll have to ask Tom Powell his opinion, and we're going to get it. 5 days to go, and no BPS interest hike is the favored move after, let's look at this, volatility here. Crazy volatility, as we've been saying for a while. The most volatile thing in these markets is the consensus on what the Fed will do next. It seems week over week, we're very sure of whatever we didn't think the week before. Coming down from almost an 80% probability, 25 BPS, sneaking back in now. It was as low as 25% confidence, now back to 31. By Monday, that could be above 50. Anyone's guess. Absolutely anyone's guess. Follow me on Twitter, guys. By the way, this show sponsored, our channel sponsored by Fairdesk, Femex, and Marketcipher. Check out their links in the video description below. If I could even see this tweet button. Follow me on Twitter. We've had some fun drama going on. We did hit 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, I think a few days ago. Well done. Congrats, fam. Just 20,000 more till we get that beautiful check mark, and baby, it's 4 years coming. We've been streaming here for 4 years. So the drama, follow it, follow me. Oh, it's F-Boy Friday. I didn't want to show that on the stream, but it is what it is. A little bit of drama going on. We're having a poll. I'm going to put this poll in the chat. You know what to do. Vote for your boy. Vote for your boy. We're going to shut Kara down, give her a little humbling with your help. Today's forecast is smoke. That's all the encouragement I need. I don't even know, guys. It's Friday. I have never had so much fun on social media. It's a job, but it has been a hell of a lot of fun over the last week with all the just chaos in the markets. We'll go over some of that too. It's nice to have some kind of distraction. Check out crowdanalysis.com if you haven't. If you're interested in writing, jump in the Discord. Let us know. Lots of great authors here. New people coming in, contributing. This site all about highlighting you guys and your perspectives on markets, business, finance, etc. Economy, crowdanalysis.com. One thing I want to share with you all, TomCrown.io, pinned to the top of the chat. We've had this redone. It looks beautiful. Check it out on a mobile device. It's much better to be viewed on the mobile device. Man, I can't get the volume right on my headset today. It's Friday. Who cares? So I guess we'll start it off with some crypto. Bitcoin did have a kind of spicy week here. We did see it trade to a new low in June, a new low for the second quarter. However, this is why we might be focusing on some other things today, like the dollar, QQQ, Apple. Might take a peek at those. There's a few crypto altcoin charts that look interesting, like Cardano ADA, coming off of the news of SEC going nuts. Mr. Gary We have to come up with a name for him to make fun of him. Basically, shotgun strategy, shooting out potential security accusations, etc. And it's been insane. Coming off also the news of both Binance and Coinbase being in the target of the SEC. This is the kind of spice for today, I want to say, is all of this news, right? Let's get rid of everything on the chart. We don't even need to look at analysis. All of this news, all of these threats coming into the crypto space. And look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. We did see trading under the 200 weekly moving average, which we didn't want to see, but that was met immediately with buying. And now for 3 days in a row, basically, we're just chilling here at the 200. For how major the news has been in the crypto space, the resiliency that Bitcoin has shown to me is surprising and impressive. One would expect, similar to last year, as we had negative news cascading through the market, to see a stronger sell-off. But it seems that that is just not what's happening. Bitcoin literally right now in this moment, sitting right on top of the 200 weekly moving average. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Today marks day 84 in this range. So if you've been tuned in for 84 days, pat yourself on the back. You are winning the long game, I promise. A few thoughts on the security stuff. So it doesn't really matter what I think is a security. And I do want to clarify, a crypto being a security is not inherently bad. It doesn't mean that the crypto or the project is bad. It's a classification by the US. And really what it is and what we're going to see unfold over the next year is the government, whether it be the SEC or Congress or the CFTC, deciding what is and isn't a security. And again, so that's not bad necessarily or in its own bubble. What is bad is exchanges then would be offering these securities unregistered, which is against the law and does fall under the SEC's jurisdiction. Mind you, the SEC has no jurisdiction until these things are deemed a security, and so that is why we're likely to see this list. Let me pull up the list here. Where are you, list? I should have had this prepared. I'll pull this up, even though this isn't exactly correct. So, basically, I was very, very much told by the AVAX community that this was not named recently. But we did see BNB. We didn't see XRP named in that, but we did see Cardano, I believe Solana, Tron, Cosmos, a lot of the top 20 coins, with the exception, obviously, of Bitcoin, Ethereum, which they've already said isn't a security, which is problematic in my mind. It's not that I want Ethereum to be a security. Again, my opinion doesn't really matter on it, but it's problematic because if Ethereum's not a security, it's going to be hard to justify a lot of these other ones being securities, at least in my opinion. And again, this graphic says declared a security. That is incorrect, so I'm fixing the record here. It is a accusation or a basically filing against, saying these could be securities, and we're going to have the courts decide. Remember, it's not the SEC that decides these things. It is the courts at the end of the day. You can think of the SEC as a prosecutor. It's their job to prosecute. It's their job to bring charges. It's the court's job to decide if those charges are relevant or have standing. Something interesting I will note in this list again is Polkadot not being included. I'm not sure why. Someone did say that Polkadot registered as a security. I don't know if that's true or not. That might be justification as to why it wasn't named. Shiba Inu seemingly not being named. I don't know why. If Ethereum is not a security, wait, no. If, say, I don't know, Tron is a security or Solana, then it's odd that Shiba wouldn't be named. I think really what is happening is this is their first round picks, let's call it. This is their first draft. It is unlikely that the SEC stops here. They are clearly on a warpath. I'm going to get rid of that graphic because there's so many errors in it. But they're clearly on a warpath against crypto. And at this point, they're just swinging at whatever. And they're seeing what punches land. This is an inevitable fight that the crypto community should have been, or at least I'll say the people who have been in the space a long time knew this would come, this day would come, where the government finally can no longer ignore us and they have to pay attention, and it does seem that's what they're doing right now. How this resolves does affect all of us. It impacts all of us. I think it is the right move to be united in the front against the SEC. Again, you guys know my stance on crypto. I'm very much like a Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, proof of work guy. That doesn't mean everything else is terrible, or doesn't mean you all are, I don't know, investing in anything else are dumb. That's just the way I see the space, and I will share with you that's the reason I like these things. The reason I like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin isn't necessarily because they're the fastest or the most, I don't know, whatever it is that you view. I, from the very beginning, valued decentralization, valued proof of work, and its fair origin. One of the reasons I value these things is looking forward into the future, we could assume there would be issues, especially, you know, throwing all the names out we just named with things that were rugs, like, I don't know, Squid Token. Looking back, that shouldn't happen. We should have regulation that stops things like that. But I, looking forward, said this is inevitable, and so I chose the ones that I don't believe could ever reasonably be considered securities. There's many factors to that. One being they were never sold to anyone. Bitcoin was never sold to anyone. It was mined, and that is true of Litecoin and Dogecoin as well. They weren't sold. There is no central entity. There is nothing to attack. Yeah, nothing to attack, and that's why I sided with them, and I don't know, chose them as my favorites. And has that been successful? Well, not. I mean, it has and it hasn't, right? Litecoin. If Litecoin moons, then I can probably say it's been successful, but that just hasn't happened yet. I just got an alert on Matic. We do have some interesting altcoin stuff going on today. Unfortunately, a lot to the downside. So just really briefly looking at the Bitcoin chart, because there's not a lot of analysis to do today. Thankfully, I guess, it's Friday. Sitting at the 200 weekly. Above us is 27.2. That means essentially June is green. If price moves above 27.2, we have a green month. Not a bad sign. Above that, 28.4, and that is the Q2 open. And we talked about this live on stream, and I'm still of this opinion, is like when or if we move back to there in this month, we're likely to find sellers. That doesn't mean price can't push through, but it does suggest that it's not going to be necessarily an easy move. This is a very critical pivot point on the chart. Retaking 28.4 by the time June ends will set Q3 up to look a lot prettier. Maybe we'll just really quickly look at that. Ooh, there we go. There it is. Maybe. There it is. Sitting above that 200 weekly, we have this little doji candle. This has been true for a long time. Pretty much all quarter. It has not been the most exciting quarter price action wise, but it's been a hell of an exciting quarter when it comes to the world and crypto, etc. etc. Yeah, I really don't think there's even like a point of doing TA. It's really as easy as I've been saying. If Bitcoin can hold the 200 weekly here, I think things are looking very solid. I would like to see a green close on the second quarter. If we lose the 200 weekly, things don't look as good. That's really as easy as it gets. I think that's a very binary A-B black and white way to look at the chart. And I think that's probably what we need right now with all of this chaos. There's a lot of fear in the market, a lot of skepticism, uncertainty, etc. Let me look up Bitcoin fear and greed. And what really helps me is through all of this chaos, it can be very easy to get swept up, to drop our logic and to kind of give in to the fear. But when you look at the chart really doesn't reflect what we've been seeing. You know, I'm going to make a new one here really quick. Chart really doesn't reflect what we're seeing. Do you guys feel this, or is it just me? By the way, I'm gonna do this quick, but make sure you guys are smashing the likes and the subscribe, sharing the stream. You know how to do. Help YouTube promote our stream to new viewers by engaging with the live. Like, this is as easy as it gets. We have, I can't get my moving average. We are directly on the 200 weekly moving average, the critical point in my opinion for Bitcoin. Our weekly low has touched 25.3. That was May's low, August's resistance, February's resistance, right before a swing low to 19.5. We retook it, and here we are back testing it. Like, the chart is not scary. The chart does not reflect the sentiment or the news or all these things coming out, and Bitcoin really does not seem to give a single F. That's what's interesting to me. Unlike the FTX, Celsius, Almedia, Three Arrows Capital, I can't even name them all, where we pretty much saw a dump each time, Bitcoin does not seem to be responding to the negativity. And to me, that's a sign of strength and resiliency, as I said. And honestly, what I would expect more in a bull market than in a bear market. Everyone got pretty excited. I won't say euphoric here, but things looked pretty good earlier in April. Around 31K. Nothing has really changed since then, except for the news revolving around it. And it has really crushed sentiment, I think. That's my 2 cents. Looking at, I'm going to look at Bitcoin Fear and Greed here. I've never seen anything like this. This is kind of wild. Right now, we're at 50. We're at neutral. Yesterday, we were neutral. Last week, we were neutral. Last month, we were neutral. Wow. I don't even know what to make of that. I've never seen Bitcoin's Fear and Greed be so even. Over the last 3 months, we've come down a little bit from greed right to neutral. That's insane. That's actually pretty insane. Did not expect that. But don't get wrapped up in all these news stories. Pay attention to the chart. The chart does not reflect this fear. The chart is honestly very chilling. It looks very similar to me, something like this. It's just a move up and a pullback, move up and a pullback. If that follows, we're looking at that 40K area. That's what I'm still looking for. That's still what I think is going to happen. Mind you, I've been wrong in the past. I'm not always right. Please do your own thinking. Don't let me think for you. We looked at this in the last stream just to rehash 23.3, potentially 24.3. Very interesting levels on the chart. I went over this actually on BitBoy's AM show yesterday, and we went over this in the live stream previously, but a lot of this chart, without getting into all the details, is pointing to this value. It does not mean it has to come, but it is very interesting. If we do see Bitcoin trade down to that level, 23.3, I'll probably look to take it long. It is the 618 retracement. It is our 2 measured move. We have the 200 daily moving average sitting right there. There's a lot on the chart chilling right there at 23.3. So if it comes, I think there will be opportunity there, but not financial advice, obviously. Really, it's going to come down to this 200 weekly. I can't get past it. So I can look at indicators. I can, really get picky and see if there's anything that I think looks good or bad, but I don't honestly believe it matters. I don't honestly believe it matters right now. We're either going to hold the 200 or we're not. Looking at Marketcipher really quickly here. Really quickly, just to align my compass. Not the best. Negative money flow, but it isn't a very strong low. This actually looks pretty weak as far as lows go. RSI continues to climb down. We have not seen bullish divergence paint, meaning we have not seen RSI go lower than back in March while holding a higher price. So we don't have that weekly signal yet. Down on the day, very little action. RSI very muted. The one thing I'll say that does go in the bearish side here is RSI being held under 50 is in general indicative of a downtrend, not an uptrend. That's not the best thing to see. That's not the best. Let me see. We could argue there's some kind of bullish divergence here on these lows in the day, but I think that really is just looking for what we want, looking for what I want to find. The argument could be made. I just don't think it's a strong one. Money flow on the day looks like garbage as well. Momentum's down, though VWAP is finally looking potentially for an upside move. There's just not a lot to be gleaned here. 12 hours still potentially rolling over, taking forever. Yeah, as much as I want to and only really care about charting Bitcoin, there's just like nothing to be said about it right now. But that's okay. It's Friday. And we're on top of the 200 weekly. We were just below it minutes ago. Now we're above it. I don't know. I don't know, man. There we are. There's nothing more to be said. I wish there was. I really wish there was. Let's take a look at some other stuff. So an interesting chart this week was Coin. We did see Coinbase's stock fall 20% pre-market off of the SEC news. It did not trade lower than its pre-market low to my knowledge. Or maybe by like a fraction of a percent. Basically, it has spent the rest of the time since that announcement filling in the gap left behind by that fall. We've seen just a very small retracement back to as high as 57, but not a lot of strength on this chart. Investors a little skittish on coin. I did see a bunch of news articles saying that some of the board members dumped stock even potentially before the news, so there may be more unfolding about that into the weeks to come. NVIDIA had everyone's eyes in focus on the 25th of May as it gapped massively up like 30%, something like that. Now it's just chilling. The AI narrative does seem to be relaxing here, at least for NVIDIA. And that's likely, if you guys saw the short or that live stream, I said AI is something I definitely want to invest in. And I have been by using it, not necessarily by putting funds in it. But NVIDIA is not the only thing that can offer exposure to AI. I don't have the answer for you. But I did encourage everyone to go out there, do some homework, and find what potentially, or what companies or what projects, whatever, that they can invest in that is related to AI that has potential growth, because I don't believe AI is going anywhere except for forward and upward. It is, in my opinion, going to ignite the everything bull run. And I think it already has. We just are still waiting for it to really gear up. I think Meta was looking interesting. Meta did look interesting. Let's see. Meta, a company I have zero faith in. Facebook, now known as Meta. The chart, though, was beautiful. It did gap up above its 200 weekly moving average, tested it as support. Now does seem to continue to be heading towards 290, filling this previous gap back in January of 22. Definitely taking a breather this week. Let's see what this weekly looks like. Yep, little breather this week. The red doji candle here. Wouldn't be surprised to see this open green on Monday, even if just back to, 272. Meta. I couldn't be more bearish on a company. I just think that company's dead. But with the AI talk, Metaverse is inevitably going to be mixed into that. AI, or not AI, Meta has some kind of edge, some kind of value there, I suppose. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Triple Qs haven't quite reached 362 yet, have they? Wow, this chart looks great, though. I love this. I wish Bitcoin looked like this. We have our lows on RSI coming up. We have a high in RSI exceeding the previous high, eliminating bearish divergence potential on the daily. I do not see QQQ not trading to 362. I just don't see how that would happen. This chart looks so strong. So strong. Money flow coming up on the week. You just see strength kind of exuding from everywhere. RSI is not even topping out. Like if this was Bitcoin, this would have topped out. We'd have bearish divergence immediately. This is just climbing up in a beautiful fashion. One thing I will say is on the week, we do see some market inefficiency. So in my opinion, 362 coming back down then to test or to fill in some of that inefficiency. Probably in the cards. Probably a good bet. Maybe we could even do something like this. I wouldn't necessarily take this trade unless I saw greater market weakness. But I could see something like this being in play, basically just targeting April's high of 22, saying, all right, well, I can stay short if we break that high. Likely we're returning to all-time highs. And where would I target? You could be skittish down at 333. You maybe could try to go lower down to that 315 zone. I think that's a solid trade, but I'm not going to take it. So do what you will with this concept. Tesla is really the one that is blowing minds right now. And we see, let's see, is something wrong? Yeah, mic volume's pretty low. Thanks, Pickle. Turn that up. I had it up too high. Now it's too low. Hopefully now too high. We're going to stick with too high. Mostly because of all the smoke, bro. Dude, the air quality here is garbage. It's been garbage. Canada's on fire again. This is 2 years in a row. Getting off topic. Tesla. So Tesla, we nailed Tesla. Nailed Tesla, man. At 100, we nailed it live on stream. You can go back and watch. I didn't even know when that was. But we nailed it. We got a little cocky maybe. Looking for a 0.5 retracement rejection or a bearish 5.0. It was working out for quite a few weeks. But Tesla seemingly ignoring the charts here. Pumping 15% this week. Wow, that's actually quite a lot for Tesla. Tesla, a company I'm extremely bullish on. Elon Musk, extremely bullish on. The dude knows how to business. Well, it has made it past its 618 retracement. It does look like it's going to be heading into like that 300s-ish area. Man, maybe sooner rather than later. Weekly looks beautifully primed. Higher lows on the negative money flow VWAP. Higher high momentum, higher high. Jeez, let's look at this month. Didn't catch that, but it looks... I didn't catch that. May closed a bullish engulf on the month for Tesla. 24% up, now 21% up this month. This is actually spicy AF. Total retrace 295. That's actually not a bad upside target. 295. I don't really love this little orphan candle today. Pre-market looks like it traded much higher. Does have room to fill in to the downside. Looks like right around where our short stop was. But something of note is we do see gaps to the upside on the way up. Just because there is a gap does not mean it needs to be filled right away or at all. Just statistically does more often than not. RSI very overbought here, but does not really have any issues with it. Not really seeing any issues with it. The previous high is lower than this one. RSI is higher. There's no bearish divergence there. 295. You could see that next week if shit really goes wild. Apple stole the eye of everyone earlier in the week, hitting a new all-time high despite the bear market across the board off of the news of their VR headset, which I still don't really understand what happened. I keep seeing news articles saying it was a flop. But was it a flop? I don't know. I don't see the average person buying a $3,500 headset, but the stock market seems to be bullish on it. It did break its all-time high there. It pulled back, but very slightly, and now does seem to be retesting that previous high. I still see it this way as this broadening descending triangle. I think we did see the higher high, and I do think we'll see a retracement. I don't know exactly what level. Perhaps not quite as deep as I'm looking for, but some kind of return to this descending high trend before moving higher. There's no guarantee, but that would just be a very classic move on a chart, and stocks love being classic. This is actually a good opportunity to point out something I was saying about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the day, we see almost the opposite of this. Bitcoin, if we invert this, this looks a lot more like Bitcoin's RSI. What I was saying is essentially RSI remaining under 50. Not usually a sign of an uptrend. Inversely, Apple staying above 50, really just hitting that overbought over and over and over again with its lows coming up. This is what we look for in an uptrend. This is beautiful. Now, we are going to have to deal with some kind of bearish divergence as our RSI did not hit a new high on the day when it hit a new all-time high in price, and the week is going to reflect that more. However, I will caution everyone when looking for divergence, don't jump the gun. You want to see that reverse before you start looking for divergence, whether that's bullish or bearish, because Apple could just rip, set new all-time highs, and it could immediately just wipe out all that bearish divergence potential. It's not bad. I think it's looking pretty good. I don't own any of these. No skin in the game either way. Google, kind of boring. Not super exciting, but not super awful either. Really, all of the big tech stocks are looking pretty good in my opinion. Actually, just looking to the left on Google here. I've done no TA on it. Cannot just infer that line at 122. Nice little reversal off of it. Google may be looking to follow suit. Maybe. I don't see why it wouldn't. All right, stocks are already boring me. I have no passion for stocks, but I wanted to throw them in the title to see if it would help out. What is a pretty boring day, boring Friday. Let's look at some more crypto. So ADA, we've nailed ADA. Minus this is where we got caught off. But we have nailed ADA, and it is at a spicy point again. Back to 31.1 cents. We've been waiting for this again. We have played this like a fiddle. Longing from 31.1, shorting at 41.6. Not financial advice, but the same play might be able to be made here. Your stop is going to be a little harder than usual, I would say. I don't know if it's going to be able to be played the exact same way from just under 30 cents as a stop, but why not? Why not? Let's take it a little lower. What I'm going to do is reverse engineer this trade. So I'm going to make the stop a little lower because our entry is potentially a little lower. And I'm just going to look for that same risk to reward. Because the upside target, 41.5, is pretty defined, this gives us a lot of leeway to make, wow, a lot of leeway. A stop as low as 27 cents, potentially looking just to move back to 41.6. Could be a good play. However, wow, look, that's nice though. The RSI is really oversold, much more oversold than last time at this level. I like that. That is potential bullish divergence, but don't jump the gun. ADA was named in the suit, and that's likely related to the sell-off. Whether the chart is bullish or bearish, I think that's likely related to the sell-off. But we still, this is, we talked about that in Bitcoin. The chart isn't really reflecting what the news is saying. Like, this is still not lower than March. It's right in our range. There could be some decent trade made here. RSI is very low. That doesn't really mean buy, but it is lower despite price not going lower. And that could be the making of some bullish divergence. Marketcipher B is really not enjoying this on the day, though. Money flow is bleeding out. VWAP moving up is the only kind of positive on the daily time frame. What about the weekly? Not my favorite, man. Not my favorite. Ooh, even that month. Even that monthly. Yikes. Let's look at this. Let's zoom out. Ooh. 21 days to fix this candle. Not the best candle. If we do lose this range, so if 31 does kind of fall out, 24.6, 25 cents would be our, wow. Our support from December to January, our yearly open essentially, and also fair value gap on the monthly right down here. Market moves straight up to move back to 24.7 cents, find support and bounce. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. Let me zoom in a little. Wow, that is a sharp decline. This is definitely a knife, but I do like the price it's at. And that sharp decline, man, some kind of scalp play there, I think could do really well. Look at this 4-hour RSI. Wow. Pushed under oversold and just hammered under. I'm actually kind of impressed. I started the episode with I'm impressed with Bitcoin's resilience here off of this news. But it seems that it's not just Bitcoin. Even ADA, that's pretty impressive. Like, for the SEC to file suit and name ADA as a potential security and to not see the low broken and to already be this extended down, that's actually some strength. I wonder if we're going to end up with a broadening, like a broadening pattern here. Something like that. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it for sure. What else is spicy? XRP is pretty spicy. Did not fill us at 48.1 cents yet. Did not. But it's right back to this 50-cent range. We're seeing price coil up, potentially flag. If we zoom out, I would say not the craziest thing in the world to identify a cup and handle, perhaps. You have like a cupping and a handle with a higher low. Inverting that scale, I think it becomes very apparent there is some kind of head and shoulders pattern in play here with your left shoulder, right shoulder, and now kind of creating a new neckline. I like it. I like it. I heard a lot of rumors about potentially the SEC's recent actions being related to the SEC case. I think that's a stretch. Of course, I don't have any inside information. I think that's a stretch only because we have heard that basically every single day for the last year. I would love for XRP to defeat the SEC. In fact, I would love anyone to defeat the SEC. Let's waste their resources. Let's make a statement about coming after our space that we aren't going to go down easy. I think taking on Binance and Coinbase at the same time is absolute madness. I don't see how they could ever have the resources to do it. Binance, according to sources, has allocated $1 billion to fight the SEC case. I don't doubt it, honestly, because a lot of their business will hinge on this. $1 billion to fight a court case I'm not sure has ever been spent. In fact, that's worth a Google. What's the most expensive? No. I don't even know how to Google it. Someone should Google it. I wonder if anyone's ever spent $1 billion in a court case. It sounds like, oh, Tom, of course. But I don't know, man. $1 billion is a ton of money. I don't know. I think you could hire almost like every defense attorney in the United States with $1 billion. I think they've picked a fight that they can't win. Time will tell. Time will tell. XRP though, man, this chart is just spicy. I'm not buying it, I'm not longing it, but this chart's pretty spicy. My only problem with it is that it's been pretty spicy over and over again throughout the last 400 days-ish, and hasn't broken out. Maybe now's the time. We do have 1, 2 higher lows on the weekly time frame. We do see that flat top forming up here at 53-ish cents. I think a move up to 61 cents, maybe as high as 85 cents, is not wild. It's not a crazy thought. Kind of moving back to this inefficiency up here from April of last year. Yeah, of last year. Money flow. All right. Ripple. All right. Not my favorite coin, but this chart is one of my favorite charts just today. And let's be real, it's been one of the more interesting charts for a little bit now. Let's pull this up. What is moving? Is anything moving? I'm going to read the chat in a second, guys. Make sure you're smashing the likes and subscribe and engaging. I don't know what BSCX is, but this is some kind of error. Like, what is this? This has to be some kind of error or some kind of super low liquidity thing. Yeah, $1.7 million, 24-hour traded volume, and it has a $1 billion market cap. I don't think so. Is this brand new? No? What the WTF is this? Where's this being traded that is claiming such shenanigans? Okay, this is why. This is a really good learning lesson. So guys, when you see crazy stuff in crypto, for instance, something I've never heard of, CEX, all of a sudden having $1 billion market cap, right? That's wild. That might inspire some FOMO. Always look under the hood. I use Coingecko.com. Go there, look to see where it's traded. So we can see some pretty obvious, glaring, not so real data here. Whatever FUBT is the only place it's trading at $262. Now, it does claim to have more market depth than, say, PancakeSwap, but something is not right. I have never heard of FUBT. Never heard of it, never even heard it mentioned. PancakeSwap, obviously, I have, but with no other markets reflecting that, this is shenanigans. So, one, maybe it's a scam, that exchange, I don't know. Or maybe you can't deposit this coin there. I don't know, like asset stuck, something that would explain it, in my opinion. I'm not even going to click that link. That's too shady for me. Just a good little learning lesson. Always look under the hood. Never just jump in. 7-day, 15,000% gain. I don't think so, buddy. So the actual top gainer in 24 hours looks like Pepe. Who's still holding on to Pepe? Render, Sui, ICP. Not a lot of big gainers. Not a lot of big losers either, which is interesting. Let's go 7-day. Even in the last week, the biggest loser, we'll go by market cap, would be Cardano at minus 18%. Filecoin also named as security. I think Filecoin was actually named as one. I don't know. Algorand, very par for the course, about 17% down. And nothing is really moving right now. Aptos down 1%. Ooh, Monero, one of the biggest gainers at not even 1%. Funny. All right. Bitcoin tested at 200 again. I'm going to pull up the chat here. It is Friday. You guys know what that means. Pull up the chat. If my computer will let me. Here we go. We've got 250 people viewing. It's Friday. Nothing's happening. I'm pretty impressed. 250 viewers. On our poll, we have 171 votes. Is this the best thumbnail ever? Shout out to Wolfpack. He's yes is winning. Also yes is lagging behind with 40% of the votes. Yes is in the lead with 60 though. This thumbnail. I mean, you guys saw it when you saw the video. I spent a bunch of time making a thumbnail today, and then in the Discord, join the Discord, by the way. If you're not in it, you probably are. Wolfpack sent me this, and I said, you know what, man, I actually kind of love that. So it's Friday. This is the lowest viewership day of the week that we have. I was like, we'll throw it up there. I had just spent about an hour making my own thumbnail. Which one should I have used? We did a vote in the Discord, and his won, so I went with his. I don't have any design skills. I just threw this together. I don't know. Tell me what you like better. Should we go with more wolf packs or more of my weird soulless thumbnails? Have I been introduced to Forex Factor yet? No, I have not. I mean, I'm aware of Forex Factory, but I have not been introduced to them. I don't know anyone from Forex Factory. This looks really familiar. I just pulled up the site. This looks really familiar. I will say the 90s, like 90s pre-internet webpage, like what is it? GeoCities site does like layout kind of irks me here. I don't even know where to find stuff. Market calendar. I get the feeling that this is a very good site. I get the feeling that it's a very good site for data, but I also get the feeling that I really hate the layout. I'll look into it more. All right. The interest rates are updated right away. Hey, I mean, I just use investing.com because it has a clean layout. Don't really see a bias in their site. They have a lot of shit articles, though. Not gonna lie. Not like crownanalysis.com, the best site there is out there. You're a real one. Thank you, Sergio. Good to see you, man. It's a docky. Bitcoin's not moving. No interest in the market. And you know, I think, like I was saying this earlier, but for those of you who weren't here, my takeaway is that the SEC has definitely thrown some chaos into this market. So instead of looking at, oh man, the news is really bad, I think the better approach is to say, look at how little impact it's had. No sell-off. Market really unfazed by this news, or at least the Bitcoin market kind of just unfazed by this news. We are seeing pretty record-breaking withdrawals from exchange. I do want to tell you guys, there is, I think it's more than a rumor, but there is some custodian in crypto that is in peril and likely to go under Monday without securing funding. I don't know if they have or not. Today's the last day to do it. So it is always a good idea to self-custody. Not going to FUD a specific exchange or anything. I don't know which one it is, but it's always a good idea to self-custody. I highly encourage you guys to take whatever you're not actively using on exchange and put it into your own custody in your own cold wallets. I only keep what I'm trading on exchange. I don't keep anything else. You stake from your own wallets. No one's collecting yield anymore from exchanges because that did not work out well. But a good reminder to withdraw. We're seeing Bitcoin come off exchanges, and conversely, we're also seeing USDT come off exchanges. So it's double-edged sword. You know, typically Bitcoin off exchanges would be bullish for Bitcoin. Stablecoins off exchange would be bearish, as it's potential buying pressure being removed or potential selling pressure being removed. But when they're both being removed, I think that just creates an illiquid market, which should suggest volatility. We're not seeing it yet. Maybe that's to come this weekend, more likely to come Monday. I should struggle to Google it every month. This is instant. I will look into it, my friend. I remember GeoCities. That's right, Joshua Tree. That's funny. I'll look into it. I can't, while I'm live, I can't digest that site. The UI is too bad. But the UI is obviously not the important part. But I'll look into it. I have the tab pulled up. It's going to stay there. What's up, Craig Tennessee? Swan. You know, Swan was the guest from a lot of people. But then that Corey guy came out really hard. I guess, I mean, that is what you would do if it was you too, though. Like, you would go out hard on Twitter being like, it's not us, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So I'm not going to make a name. All we know is that it's a custodian, and that Bitcoin only exchanges were not an exception, which to me kind of implies it's a Bitcoin only exchange. Swan is a Bitcoin only exchange, but they aren't the only one. There are others. I think Prime is one. I don't know. I don't want to name them because we're not trying to FUD them. I'm just trying to make you guys aware. There is a realistic threat of a custodian being bankrupt on Monday. So the best thing to do, not panic. Just custody yourself. You don't need someone to custody your crypto. That's the whole point. That's the whole point here. Everyone naffed off with the SEC. Yep. And as we said in earlier streams, crypto search volume basically back to bear market 2020 times. It's incredibly low. We only have 250 of the sexiest, most intelligent humans alive watching. And those numbers were 4x, 5x, 3 months ago. Read between the lines. This is what happens in a bear market, but I will say this is what we would expect towards the end of a bear market, which doesn't really line up with the 4-year cycle, but that's okay. What's up, Barry the Rave? JP Morgan bond chief Bob Michelle sees worrying echoes of 2008 in the market. I mean, that's kind of what I've been saying about search volumes in crypto, not necessarily 2008, but the previous bear market. The calm, the lack of the disinterest. There's information there. Bitcoin does not give an F about Gary. It's true. Bitcoin doesn't give an F about anything. Bitcoin just Bitcoins. And we should all be more like Bitcoin in our own lives. Doesn't really matter what other people are doing. Especially if it doesn't impact us, right? I don't care. If Binance is under the microscope, is Trust Wallet still okay? I don't know enough about Trust Wallet to comment, honestly. I don't know. I don't think that if they have your keys somehow backed up, yes. I don't know about it. I don't want to FUD it. Great reason for Bitcoin with all this news. Let's see. What's up, Rick Ortega? How you doing? By the way, let me do this. Let me just shout out. If you're here, it's a much smaller, more tight-knit group. You guys are the survivors. If you're here listening, put something in chat. And we will shout everyone out. I see 5G. I see Addison Payne, Anog Cognito, tipping me off to Forex Factory. Barry the Rave, of course. Chestnut Checkers. Coingecko. Coingecko, should we show off... Should we show off the NFT you made and sent me? Coingecko made an NFT and sent it to me. Coingecko is awesome. She's one of our greatest, most successful writers on crownanalysis.com. Valued member of our community. So I'll give her a little shill. You guys know I don't shill. I'm not saying buy something or whatever, but I'll give her a little exposure. She sent me this NFT of me from her Crypto Twins collection. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's very me in a caricature. So I appreciate it. Who else is here? Craig Tennessee, of course. All Brivard. What's up, man? August 88, Bad Baptist. Good to see you. Danny, Trifan, Devin, DJ G009, Dollar Crypto, y'all. Era Random. What's up, my man? 2 years as a member. It's wild, dude. Cheers to everyone who's been here. It's wild that I've been doing this 4 years now. It feels like a decade, but it's just wild. What's up, Buddha, for you? Fujta Jablus. Gail Kindstrom. George. How you doing, George? Hex Girl is here. Hugo Miguel Fonseca. I the Lepra. What's up? Idaki Masuso. Of course, James M. Good to see you, James M. Jefferson Naki. Joshua Gonzalez. Learning Live for Love. Mad Cat Pat. Mad Cow. Moggy Games. Shout out to Moggy Games, another one of our awesome writers. Michael Life Monkey. My man Monkey and Nate. The boys are here. NFB Forum, you're here every single day. I love you. New Type. Nomadic Life. Orange You Glad. Pong Meh River. Scott. Sergio. Definitely an OG here, Sergio. Sean Baringer. Sky Seam. Sophia Hernandez. Sunheel Kumar Sin. Definitely OG status. Taylor Tortorella. The Pickle. One of the people I appreciate the most. Tim Pierce, Trade Intuition. Shout out to Trade Intuition. We can get it. It won't let me do it, but maybe we'll shout him out. What's up, Tor? Urban KO, Wolfpack, the beautiful designer of this thumbnail today, and just YouTube channel. Good to have every single one of you here. Every single one. What's up, Lepton? Underdog G, Casual Mining, Ishan Kumar, 420 likes incoming, says Zafini. I don't know about it today, guys, but we get a pass today. The world's on fire right now. Canada's on fire. And in solidarity, I think we all should smoke this weekend for them. In solidarity. It's for a good cause. Get your oranges before it's too late. FF6000. I guess that's the hex code. Sup, Tom? Sup, Positive Flow? Hello, hello. What's up, Learning? It's good to see everybody here. Where's Bajarki? That's a good question. I do not know. He actually never replied to my last email over a month ago. Let's pray for Bajarki. I'm sure he's okay. Perhaps just off enjoying his Bitcoin bajillions. Somewhere nice. Something like that. What did you miss? Not much, River. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry there, buddy. I accidentally removed your moderator. Didn't mean to do that. What I meant to do is, are you still streaming? Trade Intuition, are you still streaming? Still making content? 22 hours ago. There you go, guys. Go ahead and follow Trade Intuition. I'll put his link in here. He's here hyping the chat for us all the time. He makes his own content. He's been grinding it out, and this is the hardest of times. One follow could go a long way. Could go a long way. Looks good. 5G. There's just shit going on. Shit going on. 214 votes. I'll close that poll because yes was the answer. In an hour. There you go. Go watch him in an hour. He's gone rogue. Well, he's always been a ghost. A little bit, so. He's cracked a beer. I want to crack a beer, Tillin. Honestly, it's supposed to rain for the first time in a month. I don't think it's going to. I think it's bullshitting. But I think after the stream, I might go crack a beer myself. Maybe pack up the old bong I've been neglecting and just go chill outside. It's a little chilly, but outside, man. Touching grass. It's important. Sean, would I suggest keeping some powder on the side? Or go ahead and YOLO? Isn't that the billion-dollar question? Man. It depends. I mean, it all comes down to the circumstance. I have dry powder that I'm not going to use at this level. I still have my buy orders down at, they start at 13.8. They go all the way down to like, I don't know, 3,000 or something. At some point, you just have to accept that some of your money, in order to stay safe and to stay balanced in a portfolio, is that some of your dry powder is just going to stay dry powder. And that can hurt when you see price go up, but it only hurts if you're not balanced, if you're not kind of calculated or have a plan. But in order to stay safe, you always have to have some powder. You always have to have that mental crutch to be able to lean on and say, okay, if it goes down, I can still benefit. You have to have that win-win position, and not just mentally, but literally. If price goes down to 13K, that would suck for everybody. That would suck for me. But at least I can say, hey, I'm filling buy orders lower than I ever thought I'd fill them again. What's up, Joshua Tree? Something in chat? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. For stink bids, I mean, I wouldn't touch alts at this point. I'm waiting. I added some alts, in Q1. I'm waiting to see if dominance breaks out. Dominance now in a green candle on the monthly. After a pretty weak close, it's still a lower high. But if we see dominance break out of this range, that's when we start looking at alts. So my dry powder remains low on Bitcoin, but if we see Bitcoin dominance rocket, I may go bargain hunting on alts again. And maybe that's a more effective way to deploy capital. Could be. Wow. The minute I started streaming, look at this. Like, this is our stream. They're watching. You gotta, exactly, James M. Something that you've come to terms with the last 4 months. It's so important. It's really hard to get over, but it's so important. Is that we think of the all-in, all-out mindset as like a leverage thing. It's not. It even applies to spot. Like, being all in Bitcoin, think about it. That means that you have no dry powder, or it doesn't have to be Bitcoin, whatever. But you have no dry powder, so price going down doesn't benefit you at all. Being all out, price going up doesn't benefit you at all. You have to find the right balance that you're comfortable with. I have enough dry powder that if Bitcoin has some black swan and price crashes, I'll fill orders that I feel good about. If it doesn't, think of my punishment. My punishment is what? I'm stuck with these dollars? Oh no. I'll be able to spend them. I'll pay my rent with them. Like, pay my bills with them, whatever. Like, it's all about the mindset. Keeping a positive, winning mindset where neither price direction is really going to wreck you is so important, because Bitcoin, and I'll say investing in general, is a long game. It's not a short game. And you guys know that. Everyone here, every single person here knows that. Because you've made it this far. You know that. It's a long game. As humans, we want to play the short game. We want that instant satisfaction. But I will tell you, in my 7 years of crypto, every instant satisfaction I have gotten has ended up as a loss. It felt good right then, and it ended up not being the right choice. Every time I have fought the urge to make an impulsive move, it has been the right action in hindsight. That's maybe just my experience, but I think that's something that rings true with most people. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Amen. Craigton, watch the market rotation. Traditional markets are pulling in retail. It's true, they are. And profits will rotate into crypto. I agree. Just to pull profits back. Exactly. Like the ebb and flow, the seesaw. Absolutely. I know that it's long and need the patient game. Absolutely. It's one thing to know it, and you can probably feel me here. It's one thing to know it, and then it's another thing to actually do it. Like, you're doing it, pat yourself on the back, give yourself credit where it's due, but you feel it, especially like during this kind of time where the market isn't doing anything for 80 days, right? We're just in this range. It's very easy to know you're okay, but it's not as easy to actually feel that and experience that. And if you don't feel that and experience that, you should know that some degree of that is normal and okay. But if it's very impactful, that means you're not allocated right. You're either too heavy cash or you're too heavy assets. Finding that comfortable, okay spot is not easy either, but it's critical. It's critical to the long game, because just like back here, right? This was similar. We'll say this area was similar. Lots of sideways trading. Any impulsive move was probably the wrong one. Eventually, that's going to be true here too. In the long term, of course, my opinion. In the long term, Bitcoin has only one direction to go. Nah, we'll say two. We'll say two directions to go. It will go to the right, and it will go up. This is my opinion. Over time. Patience is your friend. Time is your friend. Time is directly value in Bitcoin, in my opinion. I think the equation for Bitcoin is like capital to the power of time or something like that, or time squared. Time is like exponentially weighted. Remember this like crazy trend line? It's still in play. This crazy trend line's still in play. Let's make it real thick. Still in play. We're not anywhere close. No, I don't want to see this happen, but let's just do a thought experiment. So if something like this does happen, it doesn't hurt as bad. Say we were to return to this trend line. That would be about 20K. It's actually a higher low still. But even if we return to that trend line at 20K, we'd still be in this same trend. We could just keep doing this. Wouldn't that be awful? That would be awful. But we could do this. And if that happened, we would still be in a parabolic curve. This chart's on logarithmic. So any straight line is a curve. Every line, even though it looks straight here, the scale is distorting it. Every straight line is this on a logarithmic chart. That's why when you go from logarithmic to regular, the lines change. Because the scale is correcting and it's the perspective, the lens you are viewing it through changes. But even if that happens, that's a big drop from here. Or, I mean, I guess not really. If we're at 26, it's like 20, 30%. But this could possibly happen. And if this happens, though, it's still a good thing. Bitcoin is still moving up over time, and it's still moving parabolically up over time. It's just not instantly satisfying. It just won't feel good. Try to prepare yourself for whatever won't feel good. That's been a very successful strategy of mine. Little bird told me you're not following me on Twitter. Oh, Moggy, appreciate you. Rotated, got debt free. There you go, Gail. That is the biggest thing. Is not even like Bitcoin, but the biggest thing I've gotten from crypto, and obviously gains, right? But is the understanding of finance no one teaches you. Getting debt free. If you have high interest debt, boom, that is the first thing you take care of. It is a guaranteed return. Low interest debt is a little bit more of a question. A little bit more of a question mark. But financial literacy is like the most important thing to get on this journey in crypto, and I hope everybody puts in the work there. Zero debt is a goal. It doesn't have to be zero debt, but zero high interest debt specifically. Pay that off. Credit card debt, whatever. You pay that off, you can never make an investment that is a better risk to reward than paying off high interest debt. Doesn't exist. High interest debt is a guaranteed loss. Paying it off is a guaranteed profit. So, all right. Life cycles, psychology, dude. There's so every aspect of life. Exactly, James. There's so many things to be learned in this space. Gains, moon, sure. But I think the way to succeed is to know that gains or moon is in the future, but never depending on and never putting yourself in the position to depend on when. When I started crypto, people said all kinds of things could never happen. I've watched one by one each of those things happen. Now here we are. One of the biggest focuses of the US government right now is cryptocurrency. If I would have said that when I started, people would have laughed me off of the stream. Times change. Crypto is moving faster than we can even perceive it. It is moving so fast that it appears it's standing still. And when I say this, it has nothing to do with price. Price is not involved in that statement. The rate at which the world is being forced to look at cryptocurrency is absurd, and it's not going to stop. AI is going to drive it faster and harder, and in a few years, we will be looking back and saying, I can't believe we all thought something wouldn't happen. We all thought CBDCs wouldn't be running, ruling the world or running the world. I didn't, that Bitcoin wasn't, I don't know, in an everyday conversation. Just like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, people said everything was impossible. We'll look back and say, we thought these things were impossible, and now they're everyday things. Guaranteed. I guarantee that. There's a lot of spice ahead, but not right now for this stream. You guys know how it is. The whales, the market makers, they'll wait till the stream's over. I'm sorry I didn't have too much TA for you today, guys, but really, if you missed the beginning, we're above the 200 week. I hope we stay there. We move below the 200 week. Things look bearish, at least in the short term. I think we hold it. Likely we trade below it again, but I think we hold it. I think we do make a move to the upside. I think we see this monthly trade green. In fact, I'll say I think we see Q2 April Open tested again near 28.5 by the end of this month. We have 21 days. It's Friday. It's Friday. Go crack a brew, roll one up. I'm going to do the same, guys. I hope you join me on Monday. We will be live again, obviously. Jump in the Discord. Sign up using our links in the video description below. Our sponsors, Fairdesk, Femex, Marketcipher. We're going to be changing how we do the giveaways because there's been so many problems, but we're going to figure that out this weekend, and we'll be giving away some money again. There's just been too many problems. I like the comment thing, but there's too many issues with it. So we're going to work on something. Go enjoy the weekend. Don't worry about charts. Just set alerts. That's what I do. Until they go off, there's nothing to worry about. That's it, folks. Have a great weekend. Crown out.